In this video, we're going to be talking about Multivac. We're going to be analyzing the price of Multivac to see where price is going, as it is currently down 10.64% at the time of recording. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe, as I'm trying to hit 500 subs. As well as that, before investing into Multivac, please do your own research, as I'm not a financial advisor. So looking looking on CoinMarketCap, Multivac is currently down 9.1%. You can see on the chart, given that Multivac has pretty much been very bearish on the daily, looks like we're starting to accumulate, possibly even have another pullback towards the upside. But on the weekly, we can see that Multivac was pretty much bearish upon the whole Bitcoin push. So when Bitcoin pretty much rallied all the way up, that's when every coin rallied up, and it looks like the price has now approached back down into the strong demand zones. This demand zone was respected, but it failed to break past this one, essentially reaching 0.01. But price has came back down, and pretty much looks like it's respecting it, but nothing major is occurring within the price action. You can see that we've just been very pretty much consolidating within a range. But if we check on the monthly, we can see that Multivac is starting to become overall bullish. You can see here from this region, the strong demand zone was tapped into, and then we had a new high essentially being made. Hopefully, we can respect these demand zones and possibly make a new high, essentially reaching up to the 0.012 or even higher, possibly. But if we go over to trading view, let's go over to trading view to have a bit more in-depth analysis on Multivac essentially. So over here you can see that we had the accumulation schematic. We can see here there was a selling climax, there was a secondary test, and then we had the spring, and then we had the retest, and then from the retest onwards we did have the huge impulse up towards the upside, and then from this side it looks like we had an accumulation and not a distribution phase occur. So yeah, you can see here that this was the buying climax, the secondary test, and then pretty much the UT, and then we had the retest, and then from the retest we did have another drop towards the downside. But it looks like we are now approaching, looks like we're now making another accumulation phase, pretty much another accumulation schematic essentially. So you could say this was the selling climax, possibly even the secondary test, and then from here you can see that this is the spring. Let me quickly annotate this. So you call this the selling climax, the selling climax, the selling climax. Let me just quickly put this over here, the selling climax, and then from here you can have the secondary test, and then from the secondary test we had the spring, which is pretty much here. And this would be a valid spring. I'm not sure if this would be a valid spring, because usually I do interpret I look for like a break of structure within the spring, but this pretty much had a little pullback. We could possibly call this a retest, but from the retest onwards it looks like price did break previous structure. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. This could be a sign of weakness, and then from this point onwards we could have another possible leg towards upside, if you know what the Wyckoff accumulations, pretty much all that stuff. So it doesn't look too bad for Multivac on the pretty much on the overall term, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how price reacts when it comes with this. You can see here that price has been pretty much bearish in the past 2 days. I think it's mainly due to, if we drop into lower time frames, you could possibly even say that there was a distribution phase here. So you could possibly call this the selling climax, the secondary test, the UT, and then possibly this would possibly be the retest. So we could have another pullback towards the downside. Because let's quickly draw Fibonacci from the high, actually from the high to the low. So from this high to this low, so we did tap into roughly around the 0.5 region, the 50% region, and it looks like we're having a reversal from that area. So we're gonna have to wait and see how price plays out, as well as how Bitcoin is doing within the market. Looks like Bitcoin is currently starting, pretty much Bitcoin was in a distribution schematic, and then from that schematic we did have the pull towards the downside. But if we drop into lower time frames, we could see an accumulation schematic was being played out. You could call this the retest, but it looks like it's a redistribution, so price could go lower essentially, in my opinion. You could call this the selling climax, the secondary test, the UT, the retest, and then from then onward we could have another pullback towards the 40k region, pretty much even reaching the likes of 40.2 essentially, which is my main areas. But other than that, for Multivac, we are still overall bullish in my opinion. Let's go over to Multivac. So yeah, you can see for Multivac we're still overall bullish, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how price reacts, and the overall current market conditions of Bitcoin. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 subs.